Welcome back to the channel, where hidden history meets unimaginable wealth. Today's video is not just about coins, it's about the extraordinary stories, jaw-dropping values, and life-changing possibilities that can be hiding in plain sight. We're diving deep into the world of numismatics to explore 6 of the most valuable and expensive ultra-rare United States coins, pieces so rare and powerful that they've sold for fortunes and turned ordinary discoveries into legendary moments. The 1964 Jefferson nickel sits at a fascinating crossroads between myth, hype, and genuine numismatic rarity, making it one of the most talked-about 5-cent coins in American history. At first glance, especially in a very dirty or worn condition, it looks like nothing more than pocket change, an ordinary nickel lost among thousands of others from the mid-20th century. Yet behind that modest appearance lies a story that has fueled rumors of overnight wealth, hidden treasures, and life-changing discoveries. Collectors and treasure hunters alike are drawn to the idea that a single forgotten coin could unlock unimaginable value, and few coins inspire that dream more powerfully than the 1964 Jefferson nickel. What makes 1964 so special is its place in U.S. history. This was the final year before the mint froze the date on nickels during the great coin shortage of the 1960s, a time when Americans hoarded coins out of fear that precious metals would vanish from circulation. Millions upon millions of 1964 nickels were struck, but within that ocean of ordinary coins are a handful of extraordinary anomalies, coins that were never meant to exist, struck under unusual conditions, or produced as experimental pieces. These ultra-rare exceptions are what transformed the 1964 Jefferson nickel into a legend whispered about in collector circles and sensationalized in stories of million-dollar finds. The most intriguing and valuable examples are not your everyday circulation nickels, but special pieces such as the elusive 1964 Special Mint Set SMS Jefferson nickel. These coins were struck with unusual care, showing sharper details, satin-like surfaces, and characteristics completely different from standard business strikes. Only a tiny number are known to exist, and their mysterious origins, never officially documented by the U.S. Mint, have elevated them to near-mythical status. When authenticated and preserved in high grade, these nickels have sold for staggering sums, climbing into the tens of thousands of dollars and making headlines every time one appears at auction. Error coins add even more fuel to the fire. Dramatic mint errors such as doubled dies, off-metal strikes, or wrong planchet nickels from 1964 can multiply the value far beyond face value, even when the coin appears dirty or damaged to the untrained eye. In numismatics, dirt and wear do not always kill value. Sometimes they hide it. A grimy surface might conceal bold doubling or a rare strike anomaly that, once professionally examined, transforms a forgotten nickel into a prized artifact worth more than a luxury car. This is where the dream of million-dollar coins captures the imagination. While it is important to be honest, no ordinary 1964 Jefferson nickel in poor condition is worth millions. The ultra-rare variants prove that small coins can carry enormous financial weight. History has shown again and again that U.S. coins once dismissed as common have later become 6- or 7-figure treasures when rarity, demand, and historical significance collide. The mere possibility keeps collectors searching through jars, piggy banks, and inherited collections with renewed excitement. The emotional pull of these stories is powerful because coins are more than metal. They are time capsules. A 1964 nickel passed through countless hands during a turbulent era of American history, and holding one connects you directly to that moment. For collectors, value is not just measured in dollars but in the thrill of discovery, the chase, and the possibility that something extraordinary has been hiding in plain sight. That sense of mystery is what makes the Jefferson nickel such a compelling subject for videos, articles, and late-night searches through loose change. Market value today reflects this mix of reality and imagination. Certified 1964 SMS Jefferson nickels have fetched impressive prices at auction, and high-grade error coins continue to surprise seasoned collectors with strong results. Even heavily worn examples can command attention if they display the right traits. The key is authentication. Professional grading is what separates fantasy from fortune. Without it, a coin is just a story. With it, that story becomes an asset. The warning often repeated in collector circles, "Don't spend old coins until you know what you have," exists for a reason. History is filled with tales of rare coins accidentally spent for face value, only to be later recognized as treasures worth thousands. While most 1964 nickels will never change a life, a tiny fraction absolutely can change financial outcomes, especially when rarity meets demand at the highest levels of the market. That's why this topic continues to captivate audiences around the world. The idea that unimaginable wealth could be hiding in a pocket, drawer, or dusty jar speaks directly to hope and curiosity. It reminds us that value is not always obvious, and that knowledge can turn the ordinary into the extraordinary. Coins like the 1964 Jefferson nickel keep that dream alive, inviting everyone to look a little closer at what they already have. So as you watch, listen, and learn, remember this. The real power of rare coins is not just in their price tags, but in the stories they carry and the possibilities they represent. Take a moment to check your collection, your old piggy banks, or that forgotten pile of coins in the corner. You may not find a $1,000,000 nickel, but if you do, it won't just be a piece of metal. It will be a ticket into the unforgettable world of numismatics, where history, rarity, and fortune collide. Next up in the idea of a humble 5-cent coin turning someone into an overnight millionaire is one of the most powerful stories in the world of coin collecting, and few coins spark curiosity like the 1940s Jefferson nickel. At first glance, it looks ordinary, common metal, familiar portrait, and often found in grimy, heavily circulated condition. Yet this very ordinariness is what makes the story so captivating. Because hidden among millions of normal nickels are a tiny handful of extraordinary examples that have sent shockwaves through the numismatic world and ignited dreams of unimaginable wealth. What truly fuels the excitement around the 1940s nickel is not the year alone, but the rare minting anomalies and errors that occurred during its production. The Denver Mint struck hundreds of millions of nickels that year, but a microscopic fraction left the mint with dramatic mistakes, off-center strikes, missing mint marks, double dies, or planchet errors that transformed a simple 5-cent piece into a collector's trophy. These rare survivors are the reason people still dig through old jars, dusty drawers, and forgotten piggy banks. Hopping lightning might strike twice in their own hands. Condition plays a fascinating role in this story, and here, where many collectors are surprised. While pristine high-grade coins usually command the highest prices, certain error coins can be incredibly valuable even in very dirty or worn condition. The reason is simple: rarity beats beauty. If an error is rare enough, collectors will overlook scratches, grime, and discoloration because the mistake itself is what makes the coin historic. In some cases, that dirty appearance is proof that the coin lived a real life before its true identity was discovered. Stories of rare U.S. coins selling for 6 or 7 figures have created a sense of urgency and wonder. And while not every 1940s nickel will change your life, the possibility keeps the hunt alive. A genuine, dramatic mint error can be worth hundreds, thousands, or even more depending on demand, certification, and uniqueness. This is why seasoned collectors repeat one golden rule: never spend a coin until you know exactly what it is. What looks like pocket change today could be a serious asset tomorrow. The emotional pull of these coins goes far beyond money. They represent a moment in history when a machine malfunctioned, a human oversight slipped through, and chance created something extraordinary. That tiny error freezes time, capturing a flaw that was never meant to exist. For collectors, owning such a coin is like holding a secret, a quiet rebellion against mass production where one coin refused to be ordinary. The market for rare U.S. coins is driven by passion as much as profit. Wealthy collectors and investors compete fiercely for top-tier rarities, pushing prices higher with every record-breaking sale. When a rare era nickel appears at auction, excitement spreads fast, and bidding wars can erupt in seconds. This is why even rumors of valuable 1990s nickels keep collectors watching closely, waiting for the next confirmed discovery. It's important to understand that not every dramatic headline tells the full story. Claims of million-dollar nickels often stem from misidentified coins or exaggerated listings, but that doesn't erase the real value that true rarities hold. The key difference between fantasy and fortune lies in authentication. Professional grading services can confirm whether a coin is genuinely rare or simply damaged, and that single step can mean the difference between disappointment and discovery. For anyone holding onto a 1990s Jefferson nickel, the smartest move is patience. Do not clean it, do not polish it, and do not rush to sell it. Cleaning can destroy value instantly, while expert evaluation can unlock its true worth. Many collectors have learned the hard way that a coin's original condition, even when dirty, is part of its story and its value. What makes this hunt so thrilling is that it's still possible. These coins are not ancient relics locked in museums. They're modern U.S. coins that once passed through everyday hands. That means they can still be out there, hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone curious enough to look twice. Every handful of change carries the faint possibility of surprise, and that hope is what keeps collectors searching year after year. So when you hear stories about rare 1990s nickels and unimaginable wealth, remember this. It's not about guaranteed riches, but about rare opportunity. Most coins will remain 5 cents forever, but a few exceptional pieces rise above their face value and become legends. And that's why checking your collection matters. Because sometimes, the smallest coin can hold the biggest story, and just maybe, a value far greater than anyone ever expected. Next up in the idea that a simple 5-cent coin could change a life overnight is exactly what keeps collectors, treasure hunters, and everyday people checking their pockets with hope. The 1986 Jefferson nickel is one of those coins that sparks curiosity because, at first glance, it looks ordinary, often dull, dark, and even dirty from years of circulation. Yet in the world of numismatics, it's often the most unexpected coins that carry the biggest stories. What truly matters is not how shiny the coin looks, but what secrets it might be hiding in its metal, its strike, and its history. The 1986 nickel was struck at the Denver Mint during a time when millions of coins were produced for everyday use. Most of them are worth only face value today, and that's where the myth and reality begin to separate. The real excitement lies in the ultra-rare error varieties and exceptional minting anomalies that slip through quality control. Coins with dramatic off-center strikes, doubled dies, missing mint marks, or planchet errors can turn a forgettable 5-cent piece into something collectors fight fiercely to own. These are the coins that ignite bidding wars and headlines. Condition plays a strange and fascinating role here. While collectors usually chase pristine, mirror-like coins, certain rare era nickels can still be extremely valuable even in rough or dirty condition. Dirt does not erase rarity. If a coin has a major mint error, heavy wear does not automatically destroy its value. It can still command thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars, depending on the severity and visibility of the mistake. That's why spending an unusual 1986 nickel without a second look could mean letting history and money slip through your fingers. Stories of rare U.S. coins selling for staggering prices have fueled the dream of instant fortune for decades. While it's important to be realistic, most 1986 nickels are not worth millions. The rarest examples prove that small coins can carry massive value. Exceptional error coins and top-graded specimens have sold for prices that shock people who assume nickels are worthless. In numismatics, rarity, demand, and uniqueness combine to create value, and when those three collide, even a humble coin can feel priceless. What makes coins like the 1986 Jefferson nickel so intriguing is that they are still out there. Unlike ancient gold coins locked away in museums, these nickels were released into everyday circulation. That means one could be hiding in an old piggy bank, a forgotten jar of change, or a drawer that hasn't been opened in years. The thrill comes from the possibility, the idea that history might be sitting quietly in your home, unnoticed, waiting for someone curious enough to look closely. Collectors are especially drawn to coins with strong stories, and mint errors tell some of the most compelling ones. They represent moments when the system failed, creating something that was never meant to exist. These mistakes are exactly what make coins rare and desirable. A dramatic error on a 1986 D nickel transforms it from spare change into a conversation piece, a collectible artifact, and potentially a serious financial asset. The market for rare U.S. coins is driven by passion as much as money. Serious collectors are willing to pay premium prices for coins that are scarce, visually striking, and historically interesting. Auction records prove that when the right coin appears at the right time, prices can soar far beyond expectations. This is why experts always stress one golden rule: never clean a coin and never spend one that looks unusual. Cleaning can destroy value instantly, while spending it could mean losing something irreplaceable. Coins are more than metal, they are time capsules. A 1986 D nickel carries the story of the American economy, the U.S. Mint, and the everyday lives of millions of people who once used it. When a rare variety emerges from that massive production run, it becomes a symbol of chance and discovery. That emotional connection is part of what drives collectors to chase these coins with relentless energy and deep pockets. If you've ever wondered what separates a worthless coin from a valuable one, the answer lies in education and attention to detail. Learning what to look for, odd shapes, unusual doubling, missing elements, or strange textures, can completely change the way you see pocket change. The next time you hear a nickel drop, it might not sound like much, but it could represent opportunity, curiosity, and the thrill of discovery. So before you dismiss that old pile of coins in the corner, take a moment and look again. The 1986 D Jefferson nickel reminds us that extraordinary value can hide in ordinary places. While not every coin will make you rich, the possibility alone is powerful enough to keep collectors searching. Stick around, because in the world of rare U.S. coins, what looks like 5 cents today could be worth far more tomorrow, and that's a story worth telling. Next up too, in the idea that a small, ordinary-looking 5-cent coin could change a person's life, is exactly what makes coin collecting so addictive. The 1984 D Jefferson nickel is one of those coins that hides in plain sight, quietly sitting in jars, drawers, and old piggy banks while people walk past potential treasure every single day. At first glance, it looks like just another nickel, tarnished, dirty, maybe even scratched. But in the world of numismatics, condition, errors, and rarity can turn something so common into something truly extraordinary. Now let's clear the biggest myth and reveal the real magic. A regular 1984 D nickel in worn or dirty condition is usually worth only face value. But the story changes dramatically when we talk about rare minting errors and exceptional strikes. Coins from this year were mass-produced in Denver, yet a tiny number slipped through the minting process with mistakes so dramatic that collectors will pay thousands, or in extremely rare cases, far more to own them. This is where the dream of hidden wealth begins, not in fantasy, but in very specific, very real details. One of the most valuable versions of the 1984 D nickel is the off-center strike. These coins were struck when the blank planchet was misaligned, leaving part of the design missing. If the date and mint mark are still visible, collectors go wild for them. Even in dirty or circulated condition, an off-center 1984 D nickel can sell for hundreds to thousands of dollars, depending on how dramatic the error is. This is the kind of coin people unknowingly spend every day. Another jaw-dropping variety is the double die error, where parts of the design, especially the date or lettering, appear doubled. This is not damage, it's a minting flaw created during the die-making process. A genuine double die 1984 D nickel is extremely rare, and authenticated examples have sold for several $1,000s. Under magnification, the doubling jumps out like a ghost image, and once you see it, you'll never forget it. Then there are wrong planchet errors, the stuff of collector legends. Imagine a 1984 D nickel struck on a planchet meant for another coin, such as a cent or a foreign coin. These errors are unbelievably rare, but when they surface, they can command five-figure prices. Dirt, discoloration, or wear does not automatically kill value. Authenticity and rarity matter far more than shine. Condition also plays a surprising role. While dirty, circulated nickels are common, a perfectly struck 1984 D nickel in mint state condition, MS67 or higher, is shockingly rare. These coins were handled roughly during production, making flawless examples scarce. High-grade specimens certified by professional grading services have sold for thousands of dollars, proving that even modern coins can become elite collectibles. What truly fuels the excitement is the possibility factor. Millions of Americans and people around the world still have coins stored away without ever checking dates, mint marks, or errors. That old jar in the corner, the forgotten coffee can in a garage, or a childhood piggy bank could be hiding a coin that collectors are desperately hunting for. The odds may be slim, but they are not zero, and that's all it takes to spark curiosity. It's important to understand that claims of millions of dollars should always be approached carefully. Coins worth millions do exist, but they are usually historic rarities like the 1913 Liberty head nickel or the 1804 silver dollar. The 1984 D nickel won't make you a billionaire overnight, but a rare error could still bring life-changing money, especially for something that originally cost just 5 cents. This is why serious collectors never dismiss dirty or worn coins. Grime can be cleaned carefully by professionals, but damage cannot be undone. What matters most is whether the coin tells a rare story, an error, a mistake, a moment where the mint's machines failed. Those stories are what collectors pay for, not just metal. So before you spend that old nickel without thinking, take a closer look. Check the date, look for doubling, examine the edges, and ask yourself if this coin looks off in any way. Because sometimes, the most valuable treasures aren't locked in vaults or museums. They're hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone curious enough to look twice.